This is an MS Views and News interview with Crystal Bedoya. She's an MS content creator and freelance writer. She was recently featured in British Vogue because of her creator coolness. And we're going to talk about balancing MS symptoms and resilience and being in the public eye. And we're going to talk about all that right after the jump. How did you even get the British Vogue thing? Okay, girl. I mean, first of all, let me not even do that. You're a creator. I love your reels. I love your posts. I love your perspective. You're always speaking up about your own perspective, but also for the Latino community or the Hispanic community. I want to say that correct. What's the right thing to say?
So it really just depends on how the person identifies themselves as. I use Latino or Latina for me.
Yeah.
But I know people like to refer to themselves differently, Latinx, Hispanic,
Sure.
so I just respect whatever people want to identify themselves with.
Sure. So the Latina community, okay, we all know that Latinos have a disproportionate amount of symptomatic activity and disease burden. However, they're outside of the mainstream conversation about MS. And people like yourselves, part of being in the public eye is part of that. And the way you hold yourself and you present yourself and you talk about your condition for yourself, but also your fellow people. Like, how do you even balance that? Do you feel like a sense of duty on this? Are you like, I'm out here doing it for the people? Or like what?
Honestly, I truly do feel like I'm doing it for my community. Like, I look back at the moment we heard the words, Crystal has multiple sclerosis, and my parents, who don't speak English, were so confused. Like, we had never heard of this term, like, ever in our lives. So we were just, like, so confused and, like, lost. And for me, like, as an 11-year-old kid, I was just like, what are they even talking about? So, like, I hope that by sharing my experience, my journey, and I try my best to do it in English and in Spanish. I love to do Spanish content because that's where I feel like I'm being my true, like, authentic self. Spanish was my first language, and like I'm doing it mostly to connect with those that feel like they're not being represented, and that they don't really have someone to say, oh, I can relate to that person because they understand what I'm going through. Like, I can relate to them because they speak the language that my parents speak or the language that I speak. And honestly, I'm so grateful that I've been able to connect with people from all over the world, all throughout Latin America. I've made friends that, like, I want to go see someday just because of this connection. And truly, they're magnificent people, magnificent human beings. And I mean, I used to feel lots of feelings towards my MS diagnosis, but now, like, I feel like as I've grown and I'm about to turn 30, like, reflecting back on all of the years that I've dealt with my MS, like, it's gotten a lot easier for sure.
Wow. It's the balance of being like you had it as a kid and having like pediatric MS is a whole nother thing unto itself. And so being a pediatric MS person, and then you have the dual languages going on, and you have to sort of be a 12-year-old kid with this heavy diagnosis and also still try to explain it to your parents. And then still try to find your identity and your way forward. Like there's a remarkable tenacity and grit and vibrance that's it's present.
So nice.
Like it's what draws me to your content. Like I'm always out here scouring and looking for people who are leading. And it's not even that I'm looking for it. I'm a nerd, and so I'm always scrolling. And when I notice a leader, I'm like, you. And then I just dive in on their stuff, and I'm like, and when I see your stuff, I'm like, yes, she's everything. She's funny. She's speaking to two different sets of people. She's speaking about genuine multiple sclerosis things. There,
Mhm.
where's the is there are there things where you're like, no, I won't go into that dark corner of my diagnosis and my life story? Are there things that you just won't share, or you are in this little box of sharing about your MS? Or
Honestly, no.
Mm,
I have tried to be as candid and as honest and as vulnerable as I can be, because I wish I had someone when I was 11 years old. Like, I mean, social media wasn't that big then, you know, like resources weren't the same as they are now. There weren't as many treatments as they are now, right? But honestly, like I wish I had someone like that, you know? Like
mm,
I even like in my area, like I would have to travel to see my doctor 3 hours away to like a major city to be able to see a specialist and deal with my multiple sclerosis, because here in my hometown I got a misdiagnosis. So like it was a lot of like confusion and like
mm,
just being lost. And so I like tried to be as candid as possible. Recently, actually, I had been debating whether sharing about my catheter journey, my bladder problem journey, and I just decided the other day to record this fun TikTok, get ready with me, and show my catheter leg bag, you know, and I was like, I'm so proud of myself. Like, this is so cool. Like, and I'm gonna rock that thing like it's a designer handbag, you know what I'm saying? Because
okay.
truly, I'm empowered by it, honestly. And like, I'm proud of myself and the progress that I've done all these years. Because if it were up to like me in my early 20s, I would have been like, no, don't do that. Like,
Yeah,
people are gonna judge you, people are gonna be cruel to you, because I
yeah,
have experienced that in the past. But honestly, I think like this is who I am. Like this is a
mm,
part of me. That bag is a part of me now. And
yeah,
like, why not be confident and like be proud of it? You know, show it off. Like do my little get ready with me. Do like my little outfit of the day. Include the bag. You know, show it off. Like I went on this trip with my family over the summer last year, and I had to take the catheter bag, and I remember like telling myself like, am I going to be struggling over there? Am I going to deal with like infection possibilities, because the risk is like really high when you're dealing with catheters, indwelling catheters and all of that.
yeah.
But you know, I was like, you know what, no, I'm going to go and have fun. Yeah, I can't get in the ocean, that was really sad. But I was like, I'm going to go and have fun, enjoy my time with my family, and go explore my beautiful country that is
Yeah.
Mexico. So, and it was amazing. I had a
There,
great time.
there's a resilience, and that's even kind of why, like, I'm wanting you to come into this space, because
Mm,
there's whenever you see somebody, you see what your eyes see. You don't see what the
true.
person who walked into that frame is. You don't see what all of the stuff that they're bringing, and
Mhm,
seeing you on the scene and just watching you and having fun with it, and then being able to be like, huh, if she said this, then she must be dealing with that. Huh, if
mm,
she's dealing with that, then there's also this. And it's not I can tell that there's something so much more weighty than the light things that are being presented. And
for sure.
there's I get it, there's a sense of it, and I think that's sort of what brings people together into
Mhm,
stirring it all up into, maybe there's some inspiration in there for somebody else,
mhm.
maybe there's some continuing to keep going and keep moving. Like, how do you keep digging? That's part of this question. I'm like, you're almost 30 years old, okay, shout out to it. So the energy is beginning to shift, plus the MS. But there's so
Yeah.
many different parts to adult life, to showing
Mhm.
up and being fabulous on camera, and then having the medical condition eat away at
Yeah,
your brain and your
for
spine
sure.
and your soul
Yeah. Uh, Literally our reality every single day.
every
But
day.
I'm going to be very frank with you. I think growing up and like just experiencing all of this,
Mm.
I never truly saw myself making it into adulthood, you know? Like
Mm.
I never saw myself getting older. Like I don't know, like maybe because I never really saw anyone that had MS make it to like evolving right to
Yeah.
into different chapters of their life and
Yeah.
all of that. So like I personally used to dread like getting older because I was like, oh, like maybe I'm running out of time and like that's such an awful burden to have as a child. But honestly, now like I'm grateful for every single birthday. I'm grateful for every beautiful moment that I share with like my family, my friends, people online that like literally just uplift me and make me feel like $1,000,000. Like
Wow.
I get messages from people that are so incredibly sweet and like it literally like makes my whole life. And I'm like, this is this is why you're doing this. This is why you're being vulnerable. This is why you keep fighting because it's a daily struggle, you know? Like I won't lie to you either. Like I battle with clinical depression and anxiety. Like it's a daily struggle. Like no one is perfect. We're all figuring life out as we go, right? So like I can't sit here and tell you, yeah, well, my life is like really happy and like I'm living my little fantasy, right? Like, no, like I do struggle, I do get frustrated, but I think the most important thing that I've also learned growing, getting older is showing myself grace and being more patient with myself, which is something that
Mm.
I would struggle with a lot.
Mm. Grace and patience. Wow, those are really adult decisions that you got going on there, Crystal.
Right?
Wow, that's amazing. So, British Vogue. Yeah. Please
Let's
unpack
go.
this. How did this happen? What are some of the takeaways that you are presenting in your article? Because, by the way, y'all, I know I said it at the top. Crystal Bedoya is in British Vogue, okay? Talking about them MS things, okay? Talk about it, Crystal Bedoya.
I like I'm telling you, Damien, like I honestly still doesn't feel real to me.
Mm.
It was just it came into my life, this big surprise, big blessing
Mm-hmm.
in a moment where I was in a very dark place.
Yeah.
I unfortunately lost my 14-year-old pug. He passed away and crossed the Rainbow Bridge. He was actually a couple of days away from turning 15 years old. I was already planning making him a
Mm.
little quinceañera, like a little party for him. He was he was literally my best friend. Like he would
Yeah.
follow me everywhere.
Yeah.
He would console me. I don't want to start crying,
Yeah, I
but
can tell. I'm like, girl,
like
back up off of it. Hold on now.
but he was amazing. He was
Yeah.
amazing. He was an amazing dog. The way our story started was very unconventional. It's a long story, but he he was everything to me, you know? And like the day that I found out that I was going to do this really cool feature, my dog passed away, and I was also heading to get my Ocrevus infusion in Phoenix, which is 3 hours away from where I live. So it was just a lot of
A lot.
emotions, a lot of
A
emotions.
lot.
And I mean, I don't even know how it happened. They just reached out to me. They were like, "Hey, do you want to be a part of this really cool feature that we're doing with other MS content creators or influencers,
Wow.
right?" And my girl Roxy from UK, multiple
Yes.
sclerosis fashionista,
Yep.
slay, follow her.
Yep.
She was in it too, and like I love her. She was also one of the first multiple
Mm.
sclerosis influencers that I started following, and like I'm obsessed with her, in love with her, super supportive, such a kind person, like amazing. Also planning to jet off across the pond someday to go visit her and meet her in real life. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
those are the type of people that like I'm just wow. I I have amazing people in my corner and I'm so grateful. But yeah, like I was in British Vogue like Beyonce and Rihanna. And it just, you know, like
Well,
It
I
just
bring
goes
this
on
up
me.
in this way because they came to you, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that wasn't your first. They didn't come to you after video 1 or video 10 or 100 or 200. There has to be some sort of internal, personal own want and desire to
mm,
continue outside of the outcome
yeah,
that is necessary to be able to make large things happen, like
mm,
being in vogue, yeah,
yeah,
like yourself,
yeah,
and being able to represent yourself and all of the people who are behind you, and be able to hold that sort of court, and yet the resilience and the continuance and the stick to itiveness and the go. Give yourself grace. Rest when you are
yeah.
tired. Rest when,
Yes,
if
super
you're putting it
important.
down for a day, a week, a month, 3 months, it's
Yes.
unimportant. The important thing is that you continue. And that's even kind of why I'm here in this space with you right now. Cause I'm like, I know you got a
Mhm.
lot going on right now, but I'm like, hey, come into this space, unpack how we're continue in the face of multiple sclerosis, and model that for the audience, and hoping that might be something that leaves puts a feather in their cap to say, okay, maybe I
Yeah.
can figure this out a little bit. He does it. He does it. Like, okay,
They're
let's see if I
figuring
can
it
find something
out.
in me.
Yeah. Honestly, I love what I do. I had a career before this. It was amazing, exhilarating, like adrenaline, like it was amazing. Like I was a journalist, breaking news journalist, and it was amazing, but I had to put my health first. And so that's when I steered into content creating and freelance writing. And honestly, I love it. Every single day, I'm like, I am so excited to be able to create all of these cool ideas, come up
Mhm.
with like these fun videos. And I'm genuinely having so much fun doing this that it doesn't even feel like I'm working. Like it's something that I've realize that I absolutely love. And what a blessing it is to feel that way, especially like after struggling and stressing out so much all these years, like in my life, like this just feels like something that I like really hold dear to my heart. And the fact that I'm able to connect with people this way is like the best feeling ever.
There's a piece of, yes, resilience, a yes, a piece of stick to itiveness, but also a piece of listening to yourself and giving yourself grace
Hmm.
to stop or to slow down, and giving yourself
Hmm.
room to open and to continue and to just keep rolling. And
Hmm.
as the condition morphs all around it, and your psyche morphs in the rolling all around it, one can do some really special, wonderful, beautiful things. Crystal
Yes.
Bedoya, where can we find you on the interwebs, please?
Okay. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. There's
It's
another
Crystal Bedoya. That's it.
Twitter.
That's it.
Yeah, Krista Bedoya, that's it.
Okay.
Instagram, Twitter, no, not Snapchat. Um, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Boom, bam.
Y'all follow Crystal if you want some
Please.
joy, and you want some insight into how to keep rolling. She's wonderful and one of the best, and you all are the best. So
Appreciate you.
thank you for joining us here on another MS Views Now. Thanks for watching.
Bye.